it's slated. But I've had some experiences. I don't know, all you guys out there, go in for your colonoscopy, go in for your prostate exams and everything. I've been for 2 prostate exams that they've done biopsies on. And the first one was at the University of Pennsylvania years ago. And when you get all done, you go out and you sit in this room. And this little nurse comes out and she says, "Hi, I'm Nurse Betty." She said, "That thing's got to work before you can leave." So she says, "Would you like a ginger ale, a grape juice, an orange juice?" And she rattles all these things over. I looked at her, I said, "I'll have a Yingling." She says, "Did you say Yingling?" I said, "No, I said ginger ale." So she comes back and she sets a ginger ale down. I said, "That don't look like a Yingling." She starts shaking her finger at me. She says, "I got your number, you're a troublemaker." So a couple minutes later, they push some guy in a gurney and he's moaning and groaning and making all kinds of noise. And I went, she comes over and says, "What do you want now?" I said, "I want to know what they did to him." She says, "It's none of your business. Why do you want to know?" I said, "Because I don't ever want it done to me." So then the guy next to me, he's moaning a little bit, but he laughed at that. And I looked over at him. I said, now you know why they make urine yellow and semen white, don't you?" And he says, "No, why?" And I said, "That's so you know if you're coming or going." So she brings me another ginger ale and she says, "Drink that and get out of here. You're trouble." So I drink that ginger ale. She's going, "Go in there and make sure that thing works." So I'm walking around the corner and here's this gorgeous blonde nurse. Oh my God, I thought she looked like she should have been in one of those, what do you call it, X-rated movies. She was gorgeous. And I walked by her and she said, "Nurse Betty says that thing's got to work." And I put my arm around her waist and I said, "I'll come with me." I said, "It might not be able to go, but I'll bet it can come." So out I went. Well, this last time, just a couple weeks ago, I had a prostate exam. They did a biopsy and they got me laying on my side. It's taken forever. And I said, "What's the matter back there?" I said, "Can't you find a hole?" And he says, "No." I said, "Oh, problem with the tool." So he's working at it. And he said, "Yeah, I'm going to have trouble finding a hole." He said, "You're a hairy son of a bitch." I said, "Yeah, well, don't mess with that hair." I said, "I use that for transplant." And he says, "You what?" And I said, "Well, I used to have a bald spot in the back of my head, but I said I had it transplanted. They pulled it out back there and put it up on my head." And this nurse is standing there and she's going, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "There's only one problem." And she said, "What's that?" And I said, "Now every time I fart, I blow my hat off." So that's about it for the terrible prostate. But a buddy of mine was over the other day and he was telling me his daughter plays basketball. And she went to the basketball coach and she said to the basketball coach, she says, "Coach, those steroids you're giving me, look, they put hair on my chest." And the coach says, "Oh my God, hair on your chest. How far down does it go?" And she says, "All the way to my balls." So, now, I was talking to somebody, they were telling me about 3 midgets. And these 3 midgets, the first midget says to him, he says, "I got the smallest hands in the world. I'm gonna take a picture of this and I'm gonna send it in." The scotch is working good, by the way. I'm gonna take this picture, I'm gonna send it to the Guinness Book of Records, and I'm gonna get in the Guinness Book of Records. Well, at the end of the month, he gets a letter stating that he's in the Guinness Book of Records. So the other midget, he said, "Man, I got the smallest feet in the world." He says, I'm gonna send a picture of my feet in. I'm gonna get in there. So he sends a picture of his feet in. Sure enough, at the end of the month, he gets a picture or a card back that says he's in the Guinness Book of Records. So the other midget, the third midget, he says, "Man, I got the smallest penis in the world. I'm gonna send a picture of my penis in, and I'm gonna get into the Guinness Book of Records." So he sends a picture of his penis in. The end of the month, he gets a rejection notice back. And it says, "You don't have the smallest penis." And he reads down there and he says, "I don't have the smallest penis." He said, "Who the hell is this Jim Sullivan?"
Hi, Jim.
I don't think he liked that. Well, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was up to VA, and the doctor up to VA told him, he says, well, oh, you got good news and bad news. He says, which do you want first? And he says, well, give me the bad news. He says, you got Alzheimer's. By the end of the month, he says, you won't know a thing. He said, won't remember a thing. He said, oh my God. He said, what could the good news be? He says, oh, you'll be able to hide your own Easter eggs. Now I'm going to need some audience precipitation here. Help. That scotch is good. I got to get another one of them. But I'm going to need your help. I'm going to do a little sea shanty. Do you know what a sea shanty is out there? A sea shanty is something that the old sailors sang. And we're going to sing a song. And now I don't want you women throwing things up on the stage. I mean, you might mistake me for Tom Jones, but I'm not Tom Jones. So we're going to do a little sea shanty, but I'm going to need you people to all sing in. When I go like this here, I want you to sing. Okay? In the merry month of June, when the roses were in bloom, I chanced to take a walk about the park, and I met a pretty miss, and I politely asked her this. And I asked her, would you let me spin your little ball of yarn? Ball of yarn, come on, ball of yarn. Would you let me spin your little ball of yarn? Well, she gave me her consent, then behind the fence we went. I promised her that I would do no harm, and I gently laid her down, and I ruffled up her gown. Was then I spun her little ball of yarn. Ball of yarn, ball of yarn. It was then I spun her little ball of yarn. Well, it was 9 months after that, in a pool room where I sat, I felt a heavy hand lay on my arm, and a gentleman in blue said, young man, we're after you. You're the father of a little ball of yarn. Ball of yarn, ball of yarn. You're the father of a little ball of yarn. Well, in my prison cell I sit, with my bathrobe in the shit, the shadow of my prick upon the wall. And the ladies, as they pass, thrust their hat pins in my ass, while the little mice play ping pong with my balls. Now, I was going to tell a Polish joke, but I don't tell Polish jokes anymore, because a group of American Polish people got together, and they were marching on Washington. And they left the Potomac area towards Washington. Last heard they were someplace in New Jersey. So we don't tell jokes about them. But I got to tell one Polish joke. They're trying to clean up the Potomac River. And they got 100,000 cohort salmon and took them down there and put them in. And that didn't do a damn thing. So they went and got 100,000 walleye pike. And that didn't do anything either. So then they went and got 100,000 muskie. That didn't do a damn thing either. But the little fish got together and they formed a little hybrid fish, and they call it the Kowalski. Now, it does eat shit, but they're having a hell of a time teaching it how to swim. That's it for me, and I hope I did it good for you. I live right around the corner, so take care.
All right, y'all. Give it up.